Man, oh man, where to even begin with this? First, I want to point out that this is the second time that I've tried to make a video. So I recorded one last week, I was almost done editing, and then friends of this family reached out to me and started to threaten me to keep my mouth shut. So this should be fun. And kind of a terrible lesson to be teaching the youth that, like, hey, if you have enough money, you can treat anybody you want, especially a woman, as terribly, as poorly as you want to, and they won't say anything. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. So yes, I have seen all of the posts, and I want to clarify before we start, I've never sold this story to any entity or to any individual person. I've never sold this story at all. So the fact that people are saying that it's a promotional piece, well, I mean, they chose really nice pictures of me, but sorry y'all, that ain't true. I woke up 2 days later after finding everything out to a slew of messages from 1,000,001 random people, and also from his partner sending me this link. I was just as surprised as everybody else that this was out. After reading these posts, I was shocked by how inaccurate it was, how much they got wrong. And according to the friends of this family, it has painted me in such a bad light that now I'm here to give my side of the story. And before we start, I know, I've heard it from friends, these friends of the family, acquaintances, and those trolls on the internet. I see you, I've seen your comments. While yes, they are creative, I'll give you that. Dang, y'all know how to cut deep. And I don't know why y'all don't like my tattoos. But, you know, water off a duck's back. They're mine. You don't like them, don't look at them. It's all good. All of these messages were the same, saying, oh, just let it pass. In a week, nobody will remember this. Just rise above it. Enough. I'm so sick and tired of people telling others, especially telling other women, when something bad happens to them, to just remain silent. Don't say anything. It'll go away in time. Don't stir the pot. Well, y'all need to stop giving people pots and spoons to stir with, and then maybe something like this might not happen. In all seriousness, someone did a terrible thing to me, to his family. Someone else did a terrible thing by even speaking to the press to begin with. And I'm supposed to rise above all this like a good little girl and stay silent? Abso-freaking-lutely not. I don't know what rinky-dink hole you grew up in, but that's not how I was raised. I'm tired. I'm hurt, I'm angry, and if I have to fake laugh one more time, someone comes up to me on the street, hey Rachel, I saw that post of you, I'm gonna scream. I am a mix of all of these different emotions, and I'll be damned if I have someone telling me or threatening me to shut my mouth. So here we are. I'm gonna give my side of the story, and I guess let's start at the beginning. For privacy reasons, I will be changing everybody's names in this, even though those posts didn't really give me the same common courtesy, because now all of my information is out there, my career, where I live, my full name, all of that. But, you know. We're gonna call this fella Pete. Pete and I met back in April of 2020. We were sat down at a restaurant, opposite tables. We have a mutual friend. He comes up to me in a rather drunken state, and he says,
hey, Rachel, you know who you'd be good with?
And I said, enlighten me, please. Who? And he goes,
Pete.
And I said, okay, cool. Who is Pete? Pete was sat at the table next to me, and he says, oh, well, I'm Pete. And I said, oh, hi, how are you? But I didn't think anything of it, because at the time I wasn't looking for anything. But that's when Satan crawls out of his little hole, ain't it? That's when the devil gets you, when you're not looking. A few moments later, our drunken friend comes up again.
Hey Rachel, you know who you'd be good with?
And I said, wait, let me guess. Pete? He goes,
you know him?
So then Pete and I start talking, and the rest was history. Before I seriously got involved with him, though, I did do my background check. And I asked around, to which everybody that I asked said that he was single, but he had 2 kids. Fine, it's no big deal at all. Then by May, June-ish, I was over at his place. We were watching a movie. I asked him, oh God, y'all, I did it. I did. So what are we? And I actually do like that question because I would rather have the open communication to actually know what's going on rather than to be in this black hole vortex of unknowingness. It's a word now. So I asked him, so what are we? And he said that he had been in this position so many times recently and that he just couldn't do this. His life was too complicated. I said, okay, that's fine. I appreciate your honesty, but then I can't do this because I obviously have feelings for you and I don't want to be in a one-sided situationship, so I'm gonna go. A few days later, he asked me to be his girlfriend. So at the time, I thought, wow, honesty is the best policy. Funny. And then things went so smoothly after that. In July, we went to Shanghai for a little less than a week, which I thought really solidified our relationship because I started to meet all of his coworkers, his bosses, his friends, and vice versa. September rolled around, my birthday. He took me out to this really nice dinner. There was this party. It was just, mwah, chef's kiss. Amazing. Then these rumors started to circulate after that. My friend pulled me aside and she informed me that the rumors are he's married. And you know, when your stomach it feels like it falls right into your butt, almost like you're gonna shit yourself. That's what it felt like. Wasn't great. It's not a great feeling. I don't enjoy feeling like that. I sat on it for a few days and then I thought, well, why am I putting myself through this torture? I'm just gonna ask him. I said, hey, are you married? And of course he denied it. And I said, is there anyone that would be upset if they walked into this room and saw us here together? And he said, absolutely not, Rachel, you are the only one. Of course I'm gonna believe him. He never gave me a reason not to believe him. So then March, April 2021 rolls around. This was when the Chinese borders started to ease their restrictions if you had the Chinese vaccine. Yes, in 2020 it was very difficult, if not impossible, to leave and then re-enter the country. If you wanna know the actual date, go on Google. By that time, the restrictions were eased to the point where yes, you did have to have a lot of paperwork, but companies, especially his, were still allowing people to leave and come back. So that's a point I would like to touch on. In the posts, it read that he was stuck here in China. He wasn't stuck. He was never stuck. Maybe during those few months in 2020, yes. But after 2021, nobody was stuck. We as foreigners here in China know exactly what we have signed up for if we are still here, or if we have been here since the COVID outbreak. We knew exactly what to expect. We consciously made this decision to stay here. So he made the decision to stay. He made the decision not to go back home, knowing that while it would be a process, he would still be able to come back. No one was ever stuck. Anyways, when this time rolled around, I asked him, well, are you gonna go back home now that they're letting people go? And he said no. He said there was nothing left for him back home and his future was here. The job was here and I was here. So of course that made me feel really nice, like butterflies, me-hee-hee, all in my stomach. And everything was all hunky-dory. We were seeing each other 4, 5, 6 times a week. It was super normal, what I thought what a relationship would be. Then there was one instance where I was going over and some red flags started to pop up. I went over to his apartment and I got there quite early. So if you know me, you know I like to jump scare people. I like to play pranks. I like to hide behind corners and like it's just great. And I would prank him all the time. So this time I thought, oh, this is perfect. I'm 5 minutes early. I'll stay outside of his door. I'll tell him I'm here. He'll open the door. Rah, jump scare, ha ha ha, hilarious. That's it. That was the plan. So I got there, I told him I'm here, I'm waiting outside the door. A minute goes by, 2 minutes go by. I'm like, damn. So I message him again. I'm like, hey, I'm here. He goes, okay, I'm coming. And then I hear somebody on speakerphone and immediately my first thought was, please be the neighbor. At the time, I didn't know why that was my first thought. Knowing what I know now, it was my gut instinct being like, girl, yeah, it wasn't the neighbor. He was on speakerphone from what I could hear with a woman and children. And I thought, oh, God, the rumors are true. What am I doing? So I get up and I'm clicking the elevator to leave because I just need a moment to just think. And of course, the elevator, when you really need it to arrive, it's not there. So I'm on the elevator. So right, bing, elevator opens. He opens the door and he goes, hey, sorry, I was in the shower. I said, oh, I didn't know the shower was on the phone. At the time, I thought that was like such a good comeback, but thinking back now. He goes, oh no, babe, sorry. I was in the shower, and then I was on the phone with my sister, my nieces and nephews, like, you know, just talking to my family. And then I felt like a dick. That makes perfect sense. And then I told him, I was like, there's just these rumors going around that you're married and you have this secret life back home. And he got pretty irate about this. He said that this is why he liked to remain private, because people were always lying and spreading untruths about him. But y'all, come on. If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it ain't a chicken. You gotta recognize those red flags. And if you see one, run like the wind, bullseye, because that shit... After that, everything was fine. And then in December, I figured it was because he was about to go away for work, and he usually got super nervous when he did. That was my justification for his behavior and for the way that he was treating me during this time. He was acting really different, and I didn't know what was going on, and I couldn't find a way for him to open up and talk about it. I asked him if he wanted to go to dinner. This was a Wednesday. He told me he wanted to just go home, have an early night, but the following day, Thursday, we would go out to dinner, we would have a nice date night. Me. So I thought, okay, amazing. That night, I couldn't sleep. So I thought, okay, I'll go have a drink and then I'll go home. I'm walking down towards this bar and I see him inside a girly bar. Now in China, we have these bars that we call girly bars. It's a bar run by beautiful ladies that sell beer for a very, very high price. But you're not just buying the beer, you're also buying the attention that they give you. Or if you would like any extra services, then they will give that to you. So when I saw him in there, first I was like, it's midnight. You did not just get off work. 2, why are you in here alone? The fact that he was there on his own and he just hadn't communicated anything with me, that didn't sit well with me. So I walked in very calm and I said, hey, are you okay? And he immediately gets angry. And we go back to his, and we get into the biggest fight that we've ever gotten into. Yeah, it wasn't a great night. It ended with me leaving, and we broke up. Yeah. And then he went away for work. He went away for about a week and we didn't speak. And that's the longest we've ever gone without speaking. So when he came back, however, he called me. We go out to dinner. He apologizes. We get back together. Man. And we spent the rest of that time trying to move forward to where we were before that. So... yeah. But then also during this time, he started to get really busy with work, and he was going away, coming back. While he was away, the first Shenzhen lockdown happened. That was a doozy. And then he came back, and the second lockdown was looming. We got a hotel and we stayed there for the second lockdown. The second lockdown, the beginning of it was super fun. We had each other, we had no places to be. It was just nice being together. I don't even remember which night it was. We got super silly day drunk. I was running him a bath. He was taking a little power nap, and as he was sleeping, his phone was like this, facing outwards. And I never ever check his phone. I trust you enough not to disrespect me in such a way that I would need to check your phone. That's just the basic principle of a relationship, but what do I know? I don't know. I go to wake him up and his phone is ringing. It says, I'm changing the name again, My Sexy Mary XXX is calling on WhatsApp audio. He told me he didn't have WhatsApp. Now looking back, that was quite stupid of me to believe that. And my name's not Mary. Last time I checked. Who is Mary? So I wake him up. I calmly said, My Sexy Mary is calling you. You might want to pick that up. And he tried to remain oblivious about it. We got into a huge fight about that. It's not like he could go away for work, not talk, come back, apologize, hunky-dory, hee, everything's fine. Yeah, that was an awkward couple of days. But we end up resolving it. He told me that Mary was no one to worry about. He kept saying, oh, you know how lazy I am with my phone. I don't change anything. She's nobody to worry about. Rachel, you're my only one. Like, stop stressing about this. You're stressing me out. Now trying to put the blame on me that I'm reacting in such a terrible way to something that deserved this reaction or more. He gaslit me pretty hard on that one. So then Monday rolls around and I'm able to leave. So I'm like, okay, I just need some space. We obviously need some space. He's got 4 more days till he's gonna go home. If he wants to see me, he'll see me. So I go back to my apartment complex, but I can't get in. So Some of the apartment complexes required you during your daily COVID testing to have a stamp card, in which every test you got, you would get a stamp afterwards. The hotel we were staying at did not require that. So I come to my apartment with all of the tests I've ever taken since Kingdom Come, because hello, Shenzhen, technological capital of the world. No, they want this goddamn piece of paper. So back to the hotel I go. Goddamn. Walk back in. Hi. When it was time for him to go on that Thursday, the last thing that he said to me was, this will be 4 short weeks and then a short quarantine, and I'll be right back here with you. A few days after he'd gone back home, I wasn't feeling great about how we ended things. It was still, I sent him a pretty lengthy text expressing how uncomfortable I still was about the situation and about how I didn't feel he was being truthful with me fully about my sexy Mary. He was very dismissive about it. He said, I'm trying to relax at home. You're stressing me out. So I sent him, you're stressing me out, lying to me about my sexy Mary. So the last message I ever got from him said, I have some things that I need to take care of over this weekend. Let's talk after the weekend is over. And that was the last I ever heard from him, like to this day. So, just pretty shit if you think about it. Like 2 years for what? I think I deserved a little bit more respect than a disappearing act. Like I didn't know I was dating Houdini for 2 years. A few weeks go by and I don't hear anything, and I'm just trying to justify this behavior again. I'm making up excuses for him. Then I started to think, okay, maybe he's not being a total asswipe. Maybe he's hurt, he's in the hospital, is he in jail, is he, dare I say, dead? I have no idea. So I'm trying to remember the names of his family members. When we would talk, he would like tell me about his family. Some of them. So I remembered some of the names, searched them on Facebook, added random people, thinking in full panic mode. So if I added you on Facebook, I am incredibly sorry. I didn't hear anything back. So I started thinking, what do I do? The people of the internet get things done faster than anybody else. So I posted on a community board from where he was from, and I explained the situation. I put up a picture or two of us. Y'all, I did not expect this post to blow up in the way it did. While I was relieved to the fact that he was okay, I never expected this. I'm getting a bunch of messages saying, you need to take the post down and call this number. And in my head, I'm thinking, I don't want to play this Nancy Drew scavenger hunt. Just tell me what's going on. Because now I'm thinking, oh my God, something terrible has happened. Then the messages started coming through. He has a partner. He has kids. You need to take this post down. Why are you doing this? Da da da. Why am I doing this? I'm trying to find my boyfriend. And I'm finding out all of these different about him. What do you mean, why am I doing this? Finally, this lovely woman messages me and she says, hey, he has a missus, he has kids. Would you please take this down? And I said, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. And she said, oh my God, his missus wants to speak to you. Here is her phone number. And this was the phone number that everybody had been sending me. And she said, she's expecting your call. So I called her and we were on the phone for like 30-40 minutes. Immediately when I heard her voice, I recognized it as the voice that I heard the year prior when I was trying to jump scare him, and that was his sister. But she explained to me they've been together forever. They were still together. They had never broken up. They were engaged. She dropped the bomb on me that it wasn't 2 kids that they had 5. This man hid an entire starting basketball lineup from me. How did I not know? And then I start thinking, well, his coworkers then must have known, and his friends must have known, and then I'm sat here looking like an idiot for 2 years, running around with him. So then I start apologizing to her, and then I stop, and I'm thinking, wait, and I tell her it's not my place to be apologizing. He's the one who should be apologizing to both of us, because a lot of times in these instances, it's the mistress, dare I call myself a mistress, that gets the blame. But the anger is often displaced because we often forget about the common denominator. Who is the one that caused this? Who is the one that consciously made the decision to go behind everyone's back and lead these 2 separate lives, and yet I'm getting so much backlash for it? He is the cause. He is the main root of this problem. God, and I was so angry, and I was so, He needs to step up and take responsibility for what he's done and stop having his little friends come and threaten me to shut my mouth when he is the one that has done all of this. Anyway, so we end the conversation, and God, she was so lovely. 2 days later, I am bombarded with a plethora of messages from a ton of people, including her, and they've sent me the link to this post. So I messaged her and I said, how did they find out about this? And she said, oh, there was a local person in the group that you made that original post, and they took this, made a story out of it, and asked a couple of my friends, and people made comments, and then they posted it. They went on my social media, took all of my photos without my consent. They put all of my information out there, which they got a lot of it wrong, but that's okay, whatever, without my consent, and then made it look like a promotional piece, as if I'm just some gold-digging hoe bag out for some media attention. Like, if I was out for media attention, I'd want to do something a little less humiliating than this. Good Lord. And now, it's all over the frickin' world. I'm getting so many messages from random people. Oh, I saw this, I saw this. So it's been quite a lot. Then I'm getting emails from other people who want to post about this and get my side of the story. One of the posts that I read said, if you know Pete or Rachel, contact me. And I thought, no, because you could have old Billy Joe down the road that doesn't know us from Adam contacting you saying that, like, we eat squirrels for fun, and then they're probably gonna take that and be like, oh, that must be true, and run with it with no credibility whatsoever. So I email this guy and I'm like, look, it's unfortunate, but I have no comment at this time, and I would really appreciate if you would take this down because you didn't have my consent for any of it. And a few hours later, I get a message from Mary saying, why are you speaking to the media, da da da. And I was like, what do you mean? She sends me another link, and the link is from this guy, and it says, exclusive, Rachel Waters speaks out and says her situation is unfortunate. Y'all, they're relentless. They are ruthless. They don't care about you. They only want to monetize off of what they think is going to bring them money and attention. It's been great. So while I tried to reach out to all of these different posts, asking them to take it down, they were multiplying more than I could keep up with, and so everything was unsuccessful. It's been a journey. Where are we presently? I've been asked to be on a TV show in the UK. Unfortunately, things didn't work out on either end, so it's not gonna happen. And then I just thought, well, why would I want somebody else to write my story when I could say it with my own words and not have any possibility of them misconstruing anything that I tell them and have them write it in a different light than what I actually intended. But hey, you know, I'm a fan of Love Island, so ITV, if y'all are watching this, I think this is pretty good. This might be pretty good for you. I don't know. 2023, hey, I'm right here. I am right here, ready to go. Oh, jeez. I do want to mention, while I am making jokes about this still sucks. That's a coping mechanism that I use, comedic relief, because I would rather make other people laugh so they don't have to feel the way that I'm feeling. I never want somebody to feel as shit as I'm feeling right now. So instead of having this whole sob story, oh, he cheated on me, I'd rather make it lighthearted and funny. But it doesn't negate the fact that I'm still hurting and I'm still appalled by everything that has happened. Also, by me saying that I'm hurting doesn't negate how his family is feeling either. So anyways, so ITV, if you want me, I'm right here. Oh my god. And that's where we are. This isn't how I wanted y'all to join my YouTube page, which I guess I appreciate them for including that in the post that they made, so they did their research well, but I'm glad you're here. Not how I wanted you to arrive, but you arrived, so welcome to the table. I really appreciate you guys listening. If you've made it this far, thank you. All right, internet trolls, get ready to cringe. I'm about to do it. Like this post, click subscribe, share with your friends, make a comment. Anyways, y'all have a great day.